Hi guys, this is Mark. Let me give you a quick introduction about our module 3 of our dynamic agility training. It's called Dynamic Approaches. Let's start with a little question about agile practices. It's called, when is an agile practice dynamic? And when you look into your environment, maybe you find some practices teams are using. It's called, for example, planning poker, or maybe you're using user stories. And most of the time, the teams that are using these practices are using them by the book. Of course, they have learned a practice and they're using it by the book. But the question here is this practice then a real agile practice, or is it a static practice? It becomes more agile when you are dealing with it more emergent, when you actively try to optimize it for your purpose. So when your purpose changes, maybe the practice has to be changed as well. When you look a bit further into this static or dynamic approach here, and you have you're using a framework like Scrum or SAFe, then Scrum is a static framework, right? So you have a clear definition, you have a Scrum guide where every rule is described, and you have to adhere to it. Otherwise, you are not doing Scrum anymore, and you cannot change it. Yeah, but a lot of teams or a lot of companies, of course, they are changing their framework. But what I see most of the time is they don't change the framework or the elements from the framework to become more healthier and to get more purpose-driven. But most of the time is they are changing it because they don't want to see or feel the pain of the process. So Scrum is a very painful process because you can see all your faults and maybe quality issues and something like that. It is designed for this, right? So if you get rid of your Scrum, your daily Scrum, for example, because you don't want to see the pain when people cannot really work together or something like that, this is not a very healthy approach. What we think about and what we are dealing with our dynamic approach is that we get rid of a traditional paradigm. And the traditional paradigm is you have these elements like events, roles, artifacts, and so on that are static, and you don't want to change them up to this new paradigm that these static elements are continuously questioned and adapted. So they become more purpose-driven to deal better with your exploding complexity in your environment. And this leads to a lot of things in your environment that are very, very attractive. So people are getting more, mastering their skills. There is less command and control, for example. You're fostering happiness because people are really doing the things that they want to do because they are even this purpose-driven, right? And it becomes a never-ending journey. So when you think about, okay, we have this new practice here, and then we are finished. Now we are finished with our thinking about practices, then it's of course a no-no, right? So the training never ends, the learning never ends. So it's a never-ending journey to find new ways of dealing with your status quo and with your goals. Another paradigm shift we have is the hypothesis-driven optimization paradigm shift. So everything can be an experiment where it makes sense, of course, right? So we go back, go away from do not touch the way we do it to continuous experimentation, what really works. So, and how can we do this? The approach for this hypothesis-driven optimization is achieved by applying the Agile moves. And the Agile moves is something that we are dealing with or experimenting with for the last 10 years, where we try to get people find their next move. We call it moves. That is so intriguing, the move, that they really want to try them, that they really want to do them without suffering anymore, because they have to do something that they don't want to do. No bottlenecks through resistance of trying. So you have to try something so that you learn something. And this is the approach with the Agile moves in the dynamic agility framework. So thank you. I'm looking forward. This is what we want to go deeper or dive deeper in the training. And I would like to hear and see your perspectives of this. And I'm happy to get to know you better. So see you in the training. Thank you very much.